Another 2,000 National Guard troops are being deployed to Los Angeles, and this is according to the governor of California. Now, as I make this video, we are getting into the night hours of the LA protests. So before we start, make sure you please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the protest as well and all of the new videos. Let us begin. Okay, so what you see right here happened around 3 to 5 o'clock Los Angeles time. Basically, these are protesters, a lot of them, protesting National Guard that are already in Los Angeles. And all of a sudden, Gavin Newsom makes a post, hey, we are getting another 2,000 National Guard members in Los Angeles. And then he says, this isn't about public safety, it's about stroking a dangerous president's ego. Now, I'm trying to set this up for you before we get into the current chaos. So, as all of those protests are happening towards the National Guard, you have local law enforcement getting ready and prepared for clashes. And guess what? They were right. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe. This is what we do here. We gather all of the footage and data, and we make sure to hold our elected officials accountable.
Old woman in a minivan. I don't even know how she got into this corner. She's in the corner. She's trying to get out of her car. Protesters are they trying to help her? They're trying to help her, but this is really hectic right here. You can see other cars also. I'm kind of hiding behind this sign because cars, well, I don't know what these cars are. Yeah.
And that begs the question.
These cars are doing here.
Yeah, why are they there? Why is that street open, actually, when you see all of those people? It would be difficult to navigate around that crowd.
Now, the broadcaster is standing right there, and she's still claiming she doesn't know what's going on, but I think we can all see what's going on. These are vehicles that have managed to breach into the protest, and protesters are taking full advantage of it. They are hiding behind the vehicles and throwing projectiles towards law enforcement, putting a vehicle in front of the protesters and being mobile. Now, if you think this is a bad indicator of what's to come tonight, check out this next clip.
Describe where it just feels like something's going to happen and you're waiting for it to happen, and you can look around, you see the National Guard in front of the federal building, but as far as this intersection where we're seeing all this take place, there's no local police to be seen. And we have people handing out masks and gas masks, and we just saw people graffitiing the sidewalk right in front of this truck, and we've seen people doing burnouts in the street. There's no local law enforcement around.
Let us clarify, because we've been showing a wide shot and from a different angle, a whole lot of officers on the other side of the federal building, almost behind you, and perhaps the visual is obstructed from your point of view. But I can tell you there are many LAPD cars and officers there that have staged. They are blocking that freeway overpass.
So, as you can see, we have people handing out bionic shield masks. I don't know how much those cost, but I do know a gas mask costs a ton of money. Anywhere from $150 to $300. You can even get up into the $500 if you get a super high quality one. But again, the question is, what the heck is going on here in broad daylight, and where are the police officers?
There's a lot of them already positioned there. They're not getting caught off guard by a crowd gathered here.
So, I mean, that was quite a shot that we have there of these folks, and your photographer just gave us a great shot of the box that was left behind, which showed the brand of mask. I mean, it's not the kind of thing, thank you for seeing this there. It looks like a bionic shield is what that's called. I mean, that's not the kind of thing that you buy in bulk if you don't plan on doing something with it. And the fact that that's being handed out kind of like candy to everybody gives you an indication that these folks probably plan to be here for a while.
Okay, while we're here, we might as well look into this. So it's about $64 from Uline, or you can get individuals for $30 from Amazon. Again, you would have to assume these are in bulk order if people are just handing it out like candy. If that's the case, it's about $64, and if you ever work with Uline, you can get a discount depending how many orders you have. But the question is, who's buying this, and who's okay with just passing these out like it's candy?
Yeah, Laura, it is. I can tell you just a short time ago, LAPD declared a citywide tactical alert, meaning all of their officers have to stay on shift that night. They typically do that when they anticipate there could be a night of trouble ahead. I want to step out and give you a live look at what we're seeing right now. This is the other side of that federal jail that we were doing live shots at earlier. The guards you're looking at right now, these are federal CBP officers with federalized California National Guard soldiers. They're trying to hold the line in front of this building where there are hundreds upon hundreds of anti-ICE protesters out here chanting things like, quote, "Free them all, get ICE out of LA, you are traitors," and you can see the crowd goes very, very far back. Now,
in broad daylight, a man pointing a paintball gun outside of his vehicle. Now, this next clip, I think a lot of you are probably going to be very happy about this. Justice has been served, and it was served very fast and very hard.
Cinder block case, Sean. Remember that case? We have breaking news right now. The case where the guy was breaking up the cinder blocks and he was throwing them at police cars. The federal officer had injured his hand. He was wearing a mask. The FBI has identified him. Bill Escalating, our incredible U.S. attorney out there working with ATF, DEA, and the FBI have been doing a remarkable job. That guy has just been identified, and they are doing a search warrant on his house as we speak. And he has been identified. See his face. He is going to be on, his name is Reyes. He is going to be on the most wanted list. You have broken the news. His face is out there right now. That's him. He has been identified by great police work by the FBI. So you can run. You can't hide. We are coming after you federally. If you assault a police officer, if you rob a store, if you loot, if you spit on a police officer, we're coming after you.
Now, I wish the FBI gave a little more credit to the people of the internet. If you're unaware, within like 30 minutes, the FBI said we will give you $50,000 if you can give us a tip about this man. You already had people giving out his identity, his baseball team, the baseball team's identity, everything about him within like 30 minutes of a $50,000 cash prize. So I just want to throw out there, I saw your work. Good job, people of the internet. So at this point, the National Guard looks like they are starting to push back protesters. Now, I do want to mention this portion of the protest looks relatively peaceful as I make this video. You can even see it's in broad daylight, and the expectation is tonight it's going to get even worse. But again, I do want to point out the last time the National Guard was activated or engaged protesters, it got very bad. People were thrown on the ground, and the National Guard was not afraid to use less than lethal tactics, but that's not the case here.
You kind of get to learn what the agitators look like, and I'm seeing a decent amount of them out here right now, always dressed in black, always with face coverings, not holding any signs. And as I told you earlier, Sean, a lot of people were showing up here, and they were being given earplugs, gas masks, water bottles, not to drink. A lot of those water bottles are being thrown. So, you know, unfortunately, it looks like we might be heading for another night of things crossing the line here in Los Angeles. And as we're waiting for apparently more National Guard and more U.S. Marines to head down here to Los Angeles. We're not seeing any of them in the streets. The National Guard, they're basically sitting around federal buildings helping protect them. They're not out in the streets pushing these protesters back. This is all the locals. Everything you're looking at in front of us right now is LAPD. It's not California Highway Patrol. The LA Sheriff's Department is behind us. This is all LAPD. And we heard the chief of LAPD say last night they're a bit overwhelmed. And, that's once these agitators come out in huge numbers and LAPD has to constantly respond to different areas. They reported that some of these people were using radios to communicate with each other last night to report law enforcement movements. So it's complicated for law enforcement as well. But this is essentially the game that gets played all night long here. This is the main protest crowd. Police will try to push them back. They kind of melt away like water. We'll go down another alley, reemerge somewhere else. LAPD will get a radio call, have to go respond to them. And every now and then, you'll have these 10, 15-minute spurts where it's quiet, and then people will start throwing water bottles and fireworks again, Sean. But, I mean, you're seeing it in front of us, a lot of foreign flags, and certainly seeming to be kind of a different crowd than what we saw a few hours ago earlier this evening. Definitely, you can feel the tension building. You can definitely feel like as the sun is about to go down here, we could be in for another rough night here in Los Angeles, Sean.
Now, what's interesting about this clip is that local law enforcement knows the game, and we're sort of getting an inside look as to how everything is working. I mean, I keep telling you guys this is how it works. We sort of have this crescendo of an attack, where it's peaceful attack, but local law enforcement knows when we get into the night hours, you can start to see who's most likely going to be the bad guys here. Because in the day, you have protesters that are organized, and they're being as peaceful as you could hope they would be without having paintballs fired at them. But at this point, this is when it starts to get really bad, and we can actually see on national television the distribution of gas masks, those regular masks, and water and other supplies.
Hey, we keep it peaceful. Don't shoot.
We have 2 minutes before they push us out of here. 2 minutes. I have intel. 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes until SWAT is deployed on us.
We don't give a fuck. We took in the fucked up Diamond Gate truck. We created all this shit. When it happened, the police car would have been fucked up. Diamond Gate truck is a moron. So the bottom line is, we can't give up. We got to keep fighting. We got to stand up for the rights of the people, especially the Spanish people right now. They need all of us to stand up.
So I just wanted to show you guys, we have quite the healthy mix of protesters. Some people are having a good time, some people are tagging federal property, some people throwing bottles and fireworks at local officers. It's quite the spread. Now, here's what the mayor of Los Angeles has to say to ICE, a direct order.
I would say stop the raids. Stop the raids, period. I would say give the power back to our governor, and if we need the National Guard, we can do it in the normal circumstances, which is the request is made local and the governor decides or not to grant that to our city.
And have you been in contact with the administration?
I have been in contact with the administration, not the president.
Now, here's the problem. The U.S. government, Congress, has created Homeland Security, and ICE falls under that, and the mayor has absolutely no jurisdiction or ability to stop ICE. Furthermore, I also want to point out Stephen Miller and other members of the Trump administration would watch this and say, well, if I was an illegal immigrant, and to make things even worse, if I was the worst of the worst, I'm going to hide in Los Angeles, because if the mayor is advocating for me, I'm good to go. And this is why we now have a ton of ICE raids that are going to be happening in Los Angeles.
Well, ICE ain't leaving. Well, as a matter of fact, we got over 100 teams out today enforcing immigration law, and we're going to flood the zone. I've said for a month, sanctuary cities, you don't want us to arrest these bad guys that you just listed out. We could arrest them in the safety and security of the county jail, but they won't let us into jail. They release them into the community, which means we got to send a whole bunch of teams in the community to find this dangerous person that don't want to be found. So sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want: more officers in the communities, and more officers in worksite. We can't arrest them in jail or arrest them in the community. If we can't arrest them in the community, we're going to increase worksite enforcement operation. We're going to flood the zone. And based on what LA is doing right now, we're going to continue to flood the zones. We're going to be there tonight. We're going to be there tomorrow. We're going to be there every day in the next 4 years, arresting public safety threat illegal aliens. We're not going to apologize for doing it. So we're not going anywhere, Jesse. We're going to do the job the American people voted Donald Trump in office for. We're going to make America safe again, one illegal alien criminal at a time. And this is another reason we need the big, beautiful bill passed so we can hire more ICE agents, get more technology, and help us find these people. Look.
So there you go. The exact words, ain't no way, from Tom Homan. They ain't going anywhere. In fact, Tom Homan is saying we're going to flood the zone, which is a common tactic we're seeing in sanctuary cities. If you don't work with us, we're going to just make it very difficult for illegal immigrants to try and hide. We're going to flood the zone. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you please subscribe to my channel. We're definitely going to be getting some more updates from this event, and I am ready to move on to other stories, but this is the most relevant story right now for this channel. But I promise, when other events happen and other updates, we will talk about other stuff as well. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and we'll see you all later.